Welcome back. Today we're going to be starting our adventure into the Minetest world, modding world. Without further ado, let's get started. So, welcome back to my laptop, which is your desktop. And the first thing that I want to introduce you to is our textbook. So the way that we get to our textbook is online. There's a guy by the name, it's not his name, but it's his alias, I guess you could say. Ruben Wardy. Ruben Wardy. And you can see here that Google automatically locates this Ruben Wardy modding book. And so if you click on that, you will find this this link here, and it should work on your lab computers. And so this is an entire compilation of articles, chapters that he has written describing how to mod Minetest. And if you get on the mod content DB, you will find that he has also written several mods. So, and you can check out those mods; they're pretty cool. But so here we are. In the over here on the left is the chapters. We're just gonna click Getting Started. So if you want to get the most out of the book, obviously just read the chapter. But I'll do a quick overview. So there's a difference between games and mods. If you look on the Content DB section of your Minetest application, you'll see that there's different categories. You can select mods or games, and so we won't be messing with games. We'll just be focusing in on mods, which is basically just changing up the vanilla version, Minetest version. Okay, so this is a very important section here. Where are mods stored? And this is something that you're going to learn just by habit, because we're going to do this a lot. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you. Now, in here, he shows probably what it looks like iOS mod directory. It looks like he's using an Apple device. So for the Linux version, we're going to click this files icon over on the taskbar. I'm going to make mine bigger. Oh, that doesn't really help. Shrink that down. All right, so you're going to, from here, you're going to click this hamburger if you haven't already, and check Show Hidden Files. You may be familiar with this from our skins, my skins tutorial. So, okay. All right, so we've shown our hidden files, and it reveals a bunch of files with a period in front of them, their names. We're going to click the Minetest folder, double click, and then we're going to click the mods. Excuse me. There are several different files here, and you can kind of poke around. They're all kind of interesting. But we're going to go into the mods folder, and here you can see that I have several different mods. You might not see anything. Well, actually, by default, I have preloaded apps or mods into your computer, so you should for sure see something. So anyways, that is how you get to the mods folder, and you'll notice here that we have different folders with names, i3, Mesicons, more blocks, and hopefully you're familiar with those names. Those are specific mods that have been added to the game. So every program has to save its files somewhere. So although it may provide you with a nice graphical user interface which shows you the mods that you've added, and you can add or remove them, that's not the way you actually edit them. And so this is where you will be editing your mods. So moving right along, here it shows you some, this is kind of the format that he's using in order to indicate hierarchy of a folder. So this is, and in the example, I think it's fairly clear. I can't quite see it from here, but this is the name of his folder that he's created. And then inside of it, he has several different things. Anything with a dot and then extension is going to be a file, and then without is going to be a folder. And then you can see in any of the folders that they also have a subcategory. Yeah. So these folders, like he says here, any other files or directories, this can get quite complex for a good reason. I mean, it's valuable resources that you're able to add to this. But for the most part, we will be sticking to this. And we have to include this one because you see it's required. And then we're going to also include our textures. So let's actually go ahead and create a folder in here. Now, we add a folder. I think, yep, you just right click on the window and then type, hit new folder. And then I'm going to stick with what he's got, my mod. Now, there are certain formatting criteria for the folder name. You cannot have spaces. You can have underscores, I believe. But and then also you cannot have any capital letters, all lowercase, and preferably just no spaces whatsoever. Just keep the mod name very simple. You're going to be typing it a lot. So we're going to click create, and then here we have a new folder. And you know what? Let me check something. Yeah, it actually, just by creating that folder, it shows up, but it's missing all the information that it needs to actually run. So it's going to complain. It's going to tell you, I can't find it in init.lua. So, but that's just to show you how this works, is that the application goes and looks for the folders that are available, and that's how it decides which mods it has. Okay, so according to the textbook, we need an init.lua and a mod.config. So we're going to right click on here. So it turns out you can't actually add files this way like you can in Windows. So what we're going to do is take the next big step and open up a VS Code. So far, we have been working out of the documents folder, but what we're going to do is, I think let's change things up and instead get rid of documents folder as our workspace and assign it to my mod. First thing I'm going to do is click remove folder from workspace, and there it's gone. And you might have to do that several times for any folders, because I would rather you just have the one open, that way it's not confusing. So, and then we're going to click open folder, and now we have to go find the Minetest mod folder. And the way that we do that is from this location, which is my home directory, and you can click the home icon to get there. You're going to right click and you click and hit or check the show hidden files icon, and then we're going to find the Minetest. There it is, Minetest folder, mods, and then my mod. And then up in the upper right hand corner of that graphical user interface, there will be a add button. You hit that, and then from here we're going to click add file. Add file, not folder, add file. And then we're going to type init.lua. Hit enter, and it goes ahead and opens it up. We can close that, doesn't really matter. Let's hit the new file again, and we're going to write mod.conf stands for config, mod.config. And there we have our files that we need. Why don't we go ahead and add a folder called textures? Why not? Be sure to pay attention here. It's all lowercase and a plural, so an S on the end of textures or texture. Okay, back to the textbook. Here we have mod.config. He gives you an example of what to add, and we're just going to copy this straight from the textbook. And this is a lot of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at the textbook, copying it, and then we'll change it up. So that's mod.config. Talks about dependencies. This is important, but for now we probably won't need that. And mod packs we can skip. We're not going to ever get into that. And then down here, it actually he has a the example text for init.lua, and we're gonna make sure we include that p at the beginning, and select all, control copy, head on over to our folder init.lua, paste it in there, and and that's it. So we're gonna be sure to save your mod.config too. I forgot to do that. Head over to Minetest, and in a world that we have, we're gonna select our mods, select my mod. So we're gonna enable that, save it, and play game. Let's see what happens. All right, so my mod. Oops. So in the example mod.config, we added 2 dependencies, and because they were fictitious mods that were just for example purposes only, it just failed to load because it said, hey, you don't have these mods that you need, so we're not going to load you in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to replace that with default, just because, you know, I don't think you really have to specify that, but default is the mod that Minetest provided for us, which includes a lot of different nodes and craft items. So anyways, so we changed that up. Now let's be sure to save mod.config, go back to Minetest, and we're going to exit to menu and restart. And there you have it. So I typed in my mod, which will turn up all of the nodes or craft items that I've defined within my mod. I'm going to hit that and then exit out of my inventory. And I can actually add this node that I've created. Now, we have not assigned a texture, and I'll get into that in another lesson. So what you'll notice is that every time that you load into the game, it'll assign it some random color. So this color will change. But we can give it textures just like this one here, which you know, is a little more informative than simply a random color. So that's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to basically follow the Get Started chapter and create a simple mod called My Mod. Hope this has been informative, and I will talk to you next time.